Yo, wrestling fans, what's up? It's Jammer here once again from Jammer's Wrestling Magazine collection. And this video is about to get raw. That was a really bad Vince McMahon impersonation, but raw. The Raw, WWF Raw. I want to talk about the magazine. This technically isn't the first magazine. This is actually this WWF Monday Night Raw, right? Well, I consider it part of it because it's the first. It was showcasing stuff from 1993 through 1995, and to me, it pretty much it is the Raw magazine. It's the first, even though it technically isn't, because the first is this magazine. And as you can see here, it says for the mature wrestling fan. It was May, June 96, so they released these like 2-month intervals for some reason. So they were pretty much on the shelf, I guess, for 2 months, if you're lucky to get it, because it probably sold out fast. I mean, I'm guessing fans bought these up. I know I did. I missed out on this one as a kid, but I wish I would have had it, because if you look here, see, there's Sunny in her bikini. She there's a photo shoot in there, right? So, but this is kind of neat, right? Like this is for the mature fan. Clearly, they were aiming for 18 and up. Little did they know that teenagers would be loving it for other reasons. But this, I want to talk about this one. I'm going to take it out of the wrapper right now because I had this. And I want to talk about this. I talked about this in another video about how they kind of shoot in this one. This is the July-August 1996 one. And I'll show you here. Vic Venom, who's Vince Russo, he shoots on it. He says, you can see Kevin Nash written in there. Right there it says, the problem, in my opinion, was twofold. For Kevin Nash, the fame and glory had come too fast, too soon. So there was mentioning of shoot names, right here, Vince McMahon. He talks about things over here. They mention about Ted Turner and Turner Broadcast System. They mention about even up here, Georgia Championship Wrestling with Jim Crockett. Here they mentioned Monday Nitro, WCW Monday Nitro. They talk about right here, they say Kevin Nash. The name Ted Turner again. So it gets talked about. They really open up in this, which is kind of neat. Of course, the photo in this one is Marlena. They do the night the title changed hands. They talk about Demolition and Strikeforce from WrestleMania 4. Let's see what else is in here. They have a Do You Remember? And this month was on Don Morocco. So it's kind of neat. Interesting. What is this? Your chance to be the first one on your block to have Volume 2 of the limited collector series Monday Night Raw, the magazine. I wonder if they're talking about that version there. I don't remember there being a Volume 2 of that, but if there is, I missed out on it and I never saw it come up anywhere. So, but yeah, these magazines were kind of like a shoot. It was like breaking the fourth wall. It was like, destroying everything that was kayfabe with fans. You were opening the door. Vince Russo was opening the door and showing you, what the real inside of what WWE or WWF, I suppose at the time, was. This one here from September, October 96 is on Stone Cold Steve Austin. That, of course, is when he busted his face up at the King of the Ring. The picture in that one is Mark Marrow and Sable doing some provocative photos. November, December 96 was a favorite of mine as a teenager. I had this their Sunny Secrets. You know what? Let's open up. Let's take a look. Let's see why this was such a favorite of mine as a teenager. Boom. We got Sunny Secrets right there. So she definitely had some good photos in here. Of course, this was her pretty much in her prime, right? Like this, you couldn't do much better than that for Sunny. Yeah. So, and they did a lot. They had quite a few in here. You know, it wasn't just like a few pictures. It was you got some good photos of Sunny in here. So that was a personal favorite of mine back when I was 16 years old. And you know what? Still to this day, that's a pretty cool magazine. They have a lot of good photos in there of her. This one here was a favorite of mine too, just based on who on the cover. February 97, sorry. Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart. You know, that was when they were getting into their feud early on in 97. Bret had just come back to the WWF. You know, they were costing each other championships, and Psycho Sid was coming out on top all the time as champion. The women here, it looks like it's Mr. Perfect trying to find the right girl for Triple H. That's when Mr. Perfect was doing the thing with Hunter at the time. March, April 97 is the next. This has Goldust and Marlena on the cover. You know, again, nothing. I mean, it was just pretty much them in there for the photos and such. May and June 97 took a gory turn because it was a bit bloody, and you didn't really see this much in the WWF at the time. You got Vader, Bloody Vader. The Mastodon survives the war of his life. This is that four-way battle royal in February 97 in your house, where it was Vader, Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Undertaker, and Bret Hitman Hart going for the WWF title in the battle royal. And of course, Vader got busted open outside, and it was just a bloody mess. And yeah, people remember that about that match. Of course, there's exclusive photos of Sable in here, leather or lace. You know, fans are going to buy it. For the mature fan, right? Let's be honest. Vic Venom Uncensored says the truth behind Shawn's speech. So that could be, who knows what that's about. Shawn Michaels was kind of off the rails at the time. July, August 97 is a nice magazine cover. It's the Hart Foundation. And this would probably be from around May 97, I would say, when Bret was in the wheelchair doing that. There's photos of Sonny and Brian Pillman apparently up to something. I'm not sure what. But yeah, this was a cool one to have as a kid. And being Canadian, right? Like to have the Hart Foundation on the cover, awesome. Just awesome. September and October 97 is Stone Cold Steve Austin right there. You wanted it, son? Well, here it is. It's your blank face. Who knows what the hell that means? That could be the effing face, you know, damn face, whatever. An exclusive interview with Stone Cold Steve Austin. Of course, Stone Cold was feuding with Bret Hitman Hart here, so who knows what he had to say. This is on his rise. Man, was Stone Cold so popular. He was just coming big time here to being the main event, and nothing was going to stop him from taking that main event spot, no doubt. This magazine's interesting because I believe it's a program version. I don't have the barcode at the bottom. It says $4 down there. It says, did the Titan suits instigate a war, meaning Bret Hart and the Patriot, Canada versus America at the time? This is November, December 97. I had this magazine as a teenager, but I had the version bought from the store, my variety store. So I think this clearly has to be the program. It says $4 on it. I probably should try to buy the actual store version of it on eBay sometime. I'm sure it's on there. I believe I got this in a lot of Raw magazines, so that's probably why I didn't really care that it had that. But yeah, being that I'm kind of OCD about things when it comes to this, I probably should look for the other one. That leads us to now this one, January 98. Now they go to just monthly. We're not doing the bi-monthly. We're now doing monthly. This is a real swimsuit issue. This, of course, is the one that has Sunny and Sable on the cover. But I figured, you know, there's Sunny, and here is the Sable one. I talked about this in the women's video I did a few days ago, but I didn't open them up and show the photos, so let's do that now. Let's see what we get. All right, let's get here. Well, the poster inside has been ripped out. I don't have the actual poster. I don't have it in the Sunny one either. So both of these are missing the actual poster. But we got the photos at least of both of them. So they kind of gave us, like a swimsuit issue of Sunny and Sable here. Again, I always said that Sunny was like the hot cheerleader in your classroom and Sable was the hot teacher that was teaching. But that's it. There wasn't much compared to like that Sunny spread from a year earlier and late 96 with her lingerie. But, I had to get these because I'm collecting up to a certain time frame and those were needed. Now, this is the last one I have of Raw, February 98. It's Sean, Hunter, and Chyna. Sean's naked with the WWF title across his groin area. There is a spread in there of Sean naked with the belt. It's in there. It is what it is, right? It's Shawn Michaels being Shawn Michaels. DX right here at their peak with being the heels, being the three of them. No Rick Rude anymore. He's in WCW. These are, that's all I have. I went up to there. Anything after that starts to get into, Attitude Era of after WrestleMania 14. I'm not really getting into that. The whole scratch logo magazine, I don't care for that version of the WWF magazine. I'm going, like I said, I went from like 93 through 97. And the Raw magazines here represent that. They represent the new generation. And what a time frame for wrestling, right? That era. It went from the Hulk Hogan rock and wrestling era, that to the golden age era of Hogan, Savage, Piper, Andre, Warrior, and all those guys to, and then that in between before we got to the Austin, Rock, DX, Undertaker, Kane, McMahon Corporation era. The new generation era was kind of like just there, kind of like in between. And it gets looked down on to this day. People feel Diesel was the worst champion of all time. They feel 1995 was the worst year. They feel Shawn Michaels was a horrible champion. And that WCW was kicking the WWF's ass at the time. And that is true. WCW was doing well at the NWO and the heel turn by Hollywood Hogan. But something about this era just connects with me. And I think it connects with a lot of fans now that we're older and we look back at it. I know personally when I look back and I watch Raw and I watch Nitro, I enjoy Raw more. I do. And I think I didn't enjoy it then because Raw was taped a lot of times. So it just felt like I don't know, you weren't living in the moment. Whereas WCW Nitro, you were watching it live every Monday, and you had no idea what the NWO was going to do. You had no idea if anyone was going to join the group that night or who they were going to attack or what kind of cruiserweight matches you were going to get or who was going to jump ship from the WWF to WCW or from ECW to WCW. So, it is what it is. WWF Raw, though, was a great show. The magazine is just as good as the show. And I think they tried to emphasize that with this. I honestly think during this frame, the magazine was better than the show. It was more, out there and really broke down that fourth wall and gave you a look inside of things that you weren't getting on Monday nights. I believe there's a story that Vince McMahon was talking to the writers or something, and he threw down one of the Raw magazines. I don't know which one it was, and said, "Why can't our show be more like this?" And that's when Vince Russo became one of the writers for TV, and the rest is history, right? And people can, like, shit on Vince Russo. I mean, that's their opinion, but Vince Russo gave us a lot of great storylines and TV during that era, right? He did. And I know Jim Cornette hates Vince Russo, and Jim Cornette's stuck in his ways, but man, let's be honest. What was more exciting in the Attitude Era? Steve Austin stunning, Mr. McMahon, or Jim Cornette bringing out his NWA group of former wrestlers who wrestled for Jim Crockett like 10 years earlier. It's a no-brainer, right? It was definitely Vince and Austin was more exciting. But yeah, so the Raw magazines, this is it. This is them. Definitely you should collect them if you don't have them yet. Look for them, buy them, get them, own them. They're definitely worth it. They're fun. They have great photos. They have great stories. They talk about the past. They talk about the current at that time. They don't hide anything. They'll shoot in these magazines. It's great. It really is a great magazine. Like I said, I want to try to get this one again, the proper version of it. This does the job for now, because I was never really a fan of this cover anyhow. I thought it was a pretty weak cover compared to the other ones they've done. Like, this one, that's such a strong cover for Brett, and then they give you that one. But no, definitely, if you don't have any of these Raw magazines, including that uncooked best of Monday Night Raw, the one where they talk about the matches from 93 through 95, get all of these. Trust me, you'll love them. It's worth it. You get so much information and pretty cool posters and photos, so it's a win-win. So, all right, that's it for that. If anyone at home had any of these magazines, let me know in the comments. Or if you have any of the newer Raw magazines, let me know. I mean, I'd probably still buy them too going on, but I don't want to collect anything from the Attitude Era, because if I did, it would just open up a brand new tunnel of just me spending money on magazines I don't want to do. I had to have a limit, and I went with my limit, because I could collect everything out there, right? There's a nonstop limit of magazines out there. You could just keep collecting and collecting, but I have to have that that stopping point, because if I don't, really, I can do it forever, and that's not good for my bank account or my sanity. So yeah, again, if you like, if you had any of these magazines, give me a like, give me a comment. Share some of your stories with me if you want. If you're looking to get some of these now, go out there and go for it. It's fun. They're on eBay. Trust me, they're there. I've looked it up. So, yeah, that's it for today. This is the Monday Night Raw edition, as Vince McMahon would say. And until I do another video, I will talk to you later.